Good morning, my dear students. We are in Unit 22, World of Microbes lesson. In the previous class, we discussed well about bacteria and virus, right? Today, let me continue with it. Let's see about fungi today. Fungi is what? It's also coming under microbe, but it is an eukaryotic organism. So fungi is an eukaryotic organism. In Latin, this word means mushroom. It has an intermediate lifestyle between bacteria and virus. Why? See here, it's since it is an eukaryotic organism, it is coming between bacteria and plants. Bacteria is in prokaryotic. Prokaryotic means what? This prokaryotic organism doesn't have well defined nuclear membrane. Nucleus is absent, instead nucleoid will be present. Only living material will be present, but it doesn't have proper defined or nuclear membrane around it. But if you see the eukaryotes have well-defined nuclear membrane. And also it has membrane-bound organelles. So fungus is coming under the eukaryotic. So prokaryotes are visible only with the help of microscope. But eukaryotes can be viewed with the naked eyes. So most of the fungi are visible to our naked eyes. So this fungi is coming under eukaryotes. Right? In Latin, the meaning of fungi is mushroom. You'd have seen mushroom, right? Some of the mushrooms are edible also. Kalan we say, right? This is a fungi. Example for fungi. It has an intermediate lifestyle between bacteria and plants. So the lifestyle of fungi is between bacteria and plant. It is non-motile in nature. What is non-motile? It is not movable in nature. Plants are not movable. That is, the plants cannot move from place to place, right? Likewise, this fungi cannot move from place to place. That's why it is mentioned here as non-motile. This is about fungi. Next, let's see the structure of fungi. The main body of the fungi is made up of fine branching and usually colorless threads called hyphae. So the body of the fungi is called what? Hyphae. And each fungus will have vast number of these hyphae. So if you take one fungi, many hyphae will be present. Many number of hyphae will be present, all intertwining to make up a tangled web called as mycelium. So a single fungi, a thread like structure is what we say it as hyphae, and many hyphae are interlinked, that is intertwining over one over the other, which we say it as mycelium. So single thread-like structure is hyphae and many hyphae are interlinked one over the other, which we say it as mycelium. These two are the important words you should remember. Hyphae, the single fungi is hyphae and many hyphae we say it as mycelium. This is about the structure of fungi. And next, how does it intake the food? That is mode of nutrition. There are three modes of fungal nutrition: saprophyte, parasite, symbionts. There are three modes of intaking the food. So first one, saprophytes. Saprophyte means the organism which live over the dead and decayed matter is what we say it as saprophytes. So fungi is in a form of saprophyte. That means it is living over dead and decayed organism. Usually mushrooms you can see soon after the rain, isn't it? This will grow over the dead soil matter or over the wood. Right. So from the dead and decayed organism only these mushrooms will grow. So they are coming under saprophyte. Remember the word saprophyte. And next one, parasite. Parasite means the organism which live over the another one living organism. See, for example, skin infection. So over the skin it grows. This is a fungal infection. So it's a living organism. Over the living organism, this fungi is growing. If the fungus grows over the living organism, it is parasitic. So, saprophytic means what? The fungi growing over the dead and decayed matter. Parasitic is what? The fungi is growing over the living matter. So, that's the difference between saprophytic and parasitic. And another one type of nutrition is there, symbionts. Symbionts means obtaining nutrient from the living host. Both of them mutually benefit each other. So here symbionts are what? Getting the nutrients from the living host. So both of them, that is example lichen. Over the wood you can see this lichens. Algae and fungi will be together and both are benefiting each other. So that's the example lichen. Okay, these three ways only. These three ways are the three types of nutrition. These are the three types of nutrition: saprophyte, parasite, symbionts. Here I already told you lichen. Lichen means both algae and fungi will be present. Algae naturally it has chlorophyll pigment and prepares the food, and fungi prepares the water. In such a way, they mutually benefit each other. Okay, that is what we say it is symbionts. Example, lichens. So what are three modes of nutrition? Saprophyte, parasite, symbionts. Remember this. And next, let's see the types of reproduction. Reproduction means what? Producing more and more of its same type. Right? So fungi can produce its own kind in two ways. Sexual reproduction, asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction, two types. Homothallic reproduction and heterothallic reproduction. What are they? Homothallic reproduction, heterothallic reproduction. Under asexual reproduction, fragmentation, budding, fission, sporulation. Four methods are there under asexual reproduction. What are they? Fragmentation, budding, fission, sporulation. Under sexual reproduction, homothallic reproduction and heterothallic reproduction. Let's see in detail. Fragmentation. See, these are the single thread, we say it as hyphae, and many hyphae together we say it as mycelium. You can see this is fungi. A single fungi, single hyphae, it gets splits, it gets fragmented. So each, and see, you can see the fragmentation here. It gets splitted and naturally it grows. So a single hyphae can split into 4 or 5 or many, and each branch or each fragment will develop into a new hyphae. So this is what we say it as fragmentation. They cut the body part themselves and grow again. That is the type of fragmentation. It's one type. This is one type of reproduction. And next one, budding. See, this is a yeast cell. You can see this yeast cell can produce bud over it. This is a mother cell. So from the mother cell, small daughter cell is growing. And later on, it gets splitted and start to grow individually. This is what we say it is budding. Sometimes chain of buds can also be formed. See, this is a mother cell and nearby one bud and again one bud and again one bud. Likewise, the many buds are growing over the mother cell, and later on when suitable time comes, it gets splitted and starts to grow as an individual yeast cell. This is on fungi, right? So how, see, you can see how it is reproducing. It can also produce single yeast or else many yeast cells like this. Finally, it gets splitted and start to grow individually. This is one method of reproduction, that is budding method. Okay, and next, fission. Fission is what you see. This is a parent cell, and that parent cell is splitting into two inside the cell itself, and then see, you can see the constriction. Constriction is occurring, and later on it splits into two different cells. So single cell, thereby the nucleus is getting divided inside itself. It is getting paired and constriction occurs over there, and that gets splitted and start to live individually. Thereby two daughter cells are produced, and this two daughter cells again it can produce four daughter cells, and that four daughter cells can again produce eight daughter cells. Likewise, this reproduction process goes on. This is what we say it as fission. So far we have seen what? Three kinds: fragmentation, budding, fission. These are all coming under asexual reproduction. And one more type is there, sporulation. This is on fungi. You can see the sporangium. This is sporangium. The sporangium is growing over the fungi, and thereby inside the sporangium many spores will be present. See, each dot is a spore. Many spores will be present, and thereby what happens? This sporulation, the spores get splitted or blast, and these are the spores. The spores will fly away in air and falls nearby. It falls nearby, and thereby new hyphae grows. This is one hyphae. Their sporulation, so sporangium is forming over there, and there many spores will be present. These spores will get spread and thereby forming many hyphae. This is one type of asexual reproduction, sporulation. So four types of asexual reproduction we have seen. Okay, next let's see sexual reproduction. For sexual reproduction, two types are there: homothallic reproduction and heterothallic reproduction. Homothallic means from a single mycelium reproduction takes place. Single mycelium will produce many more the same kind of mycelium, that is hyphae will be produced. Single mycelium. But heterothallic means the word hetero means two, homo means single. So single mycelium is producing more and more of its same kind. Heterothallic means two different mycelium that reproduce sexually. Two myceliums are required. Both of that will produce many kind of same fungi. Okay, same kind of mycelia can be produced by two mycelia means that is heterothallic. Single mycelia is producing more means that is homothallic. So this is sexual reproduction. This is about sexual reproduction. These are all not in a textbook, just for your additional information. So that is how the organism, that is fungi, is reproducing more and more of its same kind. So now let's discuss about the application of microbes. The word microbes, when you hear the word microbe, immediately you may think that it is dangerous, harmful, right? But that's not true. Many microbes are helpful to us. Some are harmful, of course, but the microbes are useful to us. Let's see how it is useful to us. First, microbes are helping us in three ways: agriculture, industries, medicine. What are they? Agriculture, industries, medicine. Let's see how it's helping in the field of agriculture. Microbes play an important role in agriculture as biocontrol agent. Biocontrol, that means what? The organism which disturb the plants can be controlled with the help of this microbe. And then biofertilizer means what? The good source of fertilization can be given with the help of microbes. Fertilization is what? Like a manure or uram we say, right? So that that is microorganism are acting as a biofertilizer. In that way it is helping in the field of agriculture. And the microbes play a vital role in cycling of elements like carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur and phosphorus. These are the elements which are required by the plants, that is carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, phosphorus. So these are all recycled. These elements are recycled, brought again and again back to the plant with the help of microbes. So these microbes are good biofertilizer as well as biopesticide as well as bioremediators. That means it is bioremediator. See, these organisms, whatever is required for the plants are supplied with the help of microbes. So microbes are very helpful for the plants or crops in the field of agriculture. And this microorganism is acting as a biofertilizer. Already I told you, biofertilizer means what? A kind of manure, natural manure. Instead of adding artificial fertilizer, that is chemical powders, instead of adding chemical powders, this microorganism are naturally supplying good nutrients to the plants. So microorganism which enrich the soil with nutrients are called as biofertilizer. Important one word. So microorganism which is enriching the soil with the nutrients are called biofertilizer. Bacteria, what are they? Bacteria, cyanobacteria and fungi are the main sources of biofertilizer. What are the main sources? Bacteria, cyanobacteria and fungi. So next, nitrogen is a main source of plant nutrients. Important one word. What's the main source of plant? Nitrogen. So this nitrogen is supplied with the help of microorganisms. What kind of microorganism? Acidobacter, nostoc, rhizobium and frankia. So these are the microorganisms which are helpful in producing the nitrogen to the plant. Nitrogen is a very important source of plant, right? So this kind of microorganisms which are naturally available in this soil, and especially this rhizobium and all will be available in the root nodules, right? So this is available in the root nodules and help the plant to get the nitrogen, right? So nitrogen can be converted into nitrate, and that is done with the help of rhizobium. So these microorganisms are helpful. Not only rhizobium, these microorganisms are helpful in providing the nitrogen to the plant by the process of cyclic process. Next, it's a good biocontrol agent. How this microorganism is used for controlling the harmful or pathogenic organisms such as pests of which are this pest or affecting the plants, right? This pest or affecting the plants, but this microorganism are controlling this pest. This kind of pest are controlled with the help of microorganism. So that's why you can say these microbes are good biocontrol agent. So the insects are harmful. This kind of insects are harmful to the plant growing crops. So that can be controlled with the help of microbes. Example, Bacillus thuringiensis is a species of bacteria that produces a protein to the protein which is toxic to the insect larva and kills them. So Bacillus thuringiensis. So this is a kind of bacteria. Listen carefully. Bacillus thuringiensis is a bacteria which produce a protein, which produce one kind of protein. That protein is toxic to the insects. This kind of insects are affected with the help of the protein which is produced by the bacteria Bacillus thuringiensis. In such a way, it kills the insects or pest. So this microorganism are acting as a good biocontrol agent. And next, how it is helpful in the industries. They play an important role in the production of wide variety of valuable products for the welfare of the human being. See, for example, curing of coffee beans, tea and tobacco leaves. What is that? The beans of the coffee and the cocoa leaves of the tea and tobacco are fermented. Coffee beans, the cocoa beans, from with this only coffee powder is prepared, right? And the leaves of the tea, tobacco, leaves of the tobacco, these are all fermented. Fermented, you know the fermentation process. Pulika vaital we say. So for the fermentation process, especially microorganisms are helpful. So here, what bacteria is used? Bacillus megaterium. What is that, ma? Bacillus megaterium is helpful in the fermentation process. Why they are fermenting means that gives a special aroma, good smell to the coffee powder as well as tea powder. So for the curing of coffee powder as well as the tea powder, not only that, tobacco also, it is done with the help of, that is, fermentation process is done with the help of bacteria Bacillus megaterium. Next one, production of curd. You all like curd, right? Isn't it? So curd, everybody loves curd. So how is it prepared? So this is prepared from the milk. So milk only getting converted to curd. How can you prepare this? So the boiled and cooled milk is added with a small drop of curd, and that curd will completely turn the whole milk into a curd. How is it happening? This is done with the help of bacteria. What bacteria? Lactobacillus bacteria. So the lactobacillus bacteria is present where? In the curd. Just one drop of this curd can convert the whole milk into the curd. That is, the bacteria is getting spread. That is, the process of reproduction is taking place there. The bacteria lactobacillus can produce more and more of bacillus bacteria of its same kind. That's how the milk is turning into curd. Here what is to be remembered? What species, what bacteria is helpful in the production of curd? Lactobacillus bacteria. Okay, so lactose is converted into lactic acid. That is a yogurt making. Yogurt making means the curd making, right? And here lactobacillus bulgaricus. Lactobacillus bulgaricus. Not only that, streptococcus thermophilus. So these are all helpful in the yogurt making. And then next, production of organic acid, enzymes as well as vitamins. So organic acids such as oxalic acid, acetic acid, citric acid are all prepared with the help of fungi. What fungi? Aspergillus niger, important one word. So organic acid means natural acids, right? Oxalic acid, acetic acid, citric acid, these kind of acids are prepared with the fungi, so they are organic. Okay, if chemicals are used, that is, we say it as inorganic acid. Since here microorganism Aspergillus niger is used, it is coming under organic acid. So what are they? Oxalic acid, acetic acid, citric acid are prepared with the help of Aspergillus niger. And next, enzymes like lipase, invertase, protease, glucose, oxidase are all derived from the microbes only. Enzymes or the natural chemicals which are present in our body, helpful in the metabolism. So for that, they are all prepared with the help of microbes only. Yeast are very rich source of vitamin B complex. You know very well about the yeast. For the baking products in the bakery, for preparing bread or cake, we use the yeast for the process of fermentation. For that that is, yeast are coming under the fungi only. So these are very rich source of vitamin B complex. Okay, so these are all the microorganisms which are helpful in the preparation of organic acid, enzymes as well as vitamins. So with this, I'll wind up the class. So today we have discussed about fungi as well as microbes, how it is useful in the how it is useful in the agriculture as well as in the industries. In the next class, I'll help you to know how it is useful in the field of medicine. Thank you.